to another exciting episode of Perpetually Ajar. And whoa, this is our 10th episode, and this is also the final episode of 2019.
Holy moly.
Final episode of the year. We did it, guys. This is crazy. We're here. We made it. And my name is Katy Johnson. I am part of KRWBY Abridged, KRWBY Productions. I play Weiss, Cinderfall, Penny, Pelladonna. I can't even pronounce her last name anymore because I keep saying it Pelladonuts. And, of course, Velvet the Chocolate Rabbit. That is just her canon name now. It's true. I'm also a writer, and I do a bunch of other stuff, too. And I'm just so excited to be here. We've done it. We've made it. And we have our amazing co-host here as well. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, what is up, everybody? Beau here. I am the voice of Winter and Ilya for KRWBY Abridged / KRWBY Productions. I am the lead director of the VR short department, as well as one of the lead writers for the VR shorts. I am one of the co-hosts of this podcast, as well as one of the co-hosts of the Ruby Talk podcast every Sunday.
Woo!
And I think that's it. Maybe?
Whoa, that's so many cool things that you do, Beau.
No.
I'm so proud of you. Stop being so heckin' talented, my dude.
No, you.
I wish I was the host of a podcast. Oh, wait, I am. And we have a special guest with us, too. Oh, my goodness. They didn't have to sleep in, or not sleep in, sneak in. I slept in. That was me.
I did,
I'm
too.
just projecting right now. They didn't have to sneak in at all. They are here for our 10th episode, and we are very happy to have them. Please introduce yourself.
Hi there, everybody. I go by Koy McCloud, and I'm super happy to be here. I'm the voice of Tai Yang for KRWBY.
Woo!
Papa Zhao Long.
Papa Zhao Long! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We're so happy to have you. And is that all that you do for KRWBY?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, at the moment.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Well, we are very excited to have you today, and everybody that's listening right now, this is the first time that I have met this crew member. I know Beau mentioned that they have known him, but as soon as he got on, we're all super busy today for holiday season, so we just wanted to jump in and get started. So we know nothing about each other, which makes it very exciting because this podcast is all about getting to know people.
Heck
and
yeah.
I just want to know, how are you guys doing? What have you been up to? Any cool video games you've been playing? Any obsessions? Death Stranding? That one's kind of mine right now.
Let me think. I have been playing some of that new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order.
Whoa!
I haven't had a chance to check that out yet. I really need to.
It's actually pretty good. It's pretty.
I've heard about that one.
It's pretty different from your typical Star Wars game, actually. It's not really you're not playing as a Jedi that gets to blow everything up. You're actually kind of starting off small as a Padawan and stuff, and it's more of an exploring game. I mean, there's plenty of action too and stuff, but there's a lot of exploring and I've heard people compare it to Tomb Raider, which
Ooh.
yeah, that makes sense. What else have they compared it to? Tomb Raider and what's that really? Dark Souls?
Oh, nice.
Jeez, a Dark Souls Star Wars game?
Dark
That sounds
Souls
a little
Star
intense.
Wars.
Oh, it can be
Sounds
depends,
amazing.
but thankfully there's a difficulty setting that you can change anytime, so it can be as
That's-
intense as you
Okay.
want it to be.
That's fair. I like less intense.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games that have been coming out. Death Stranding, for example, I haven't really played it much, but my boyfriend has been playing it nonstop, and I like to watch and learn the lore of the Kojima multiverse and how much he consistently is making these weird ass games that make no sense on paper, but then you really live them, and you're like, oh, it's like Amazon package delivery in an apocalypse. But also, your poo is grenades.
Okay, then.
This is the universe of Kojima. Yes.
That's-
And of course, I'm still Stardew Valleying and Critical Rolling.
Hell yeah.
Believe it or not, that is not the first game I've played where you poop grenades.
Really? Where else is this happening?
Banjo-Tooie. If anyone's familiar
yeah.
if anyone's familiar with the Banjo-Kazooie games, the bird in your backpack is capable of pooping out grenades.
Well,
That is true. Well, those are sort of eggs, technically. I don't know if those classify as feces. I mean, maybe they do.
I mean,
It's been a minute.
They come out your body and they explode.
You know, this is true. This is very true.
And plus, she does, a fart sound is made whenever you project them, so.
That's true. The Banjo-Kazooie and then, ukulele, both those universes, they have very, very, I'm trying to figure out the word for the type of humor. Like, it's like...
Crude?
Crude, yeah, that's the word. Like, it goes kind of into crude territory, which isn't necessarily my style, but I do enjoy the aesthetic of the games. Like, Conker's Bad Fur Day, I think also has, like, some really
Now that's the definition of crude, that game.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that one is definitely more up there. But they're so cute. Like, how did they do this? How? Just, it makes me very happy.
Well,
but also very
as far
confused.
as what I've been up to, I have been filming and mocapping nondescript. Well, less filming, more mocapping. Nondescript Winter Holiday 2. That has been really intense. It's been kind of weird to not be behind the camera as much as I've been in the past.
Yeah.
I'm normally like the lead camera operator, and this short's definitely been Ray and Corey filming. And with a little bit of Drav, and I've been mainly in front of the camera, so it's been kind of an experience. And I'm tired. My legs are tired.
Yeah, no, like the KRWBY team has been working nonstop to get this winter short to you guys. Also, when this podcast comes out, I will be out of the United States. I will be in another country.
Oh,
Being a
very
schnee,
cool.
living it up.
I'm going to be schneeing it out there in Italy, baby. What? It's going to be awesome. And yeah, man, I really just want to like sit at home and play Stardew Valley for like all of winter. That's really what I want to do. But I know that I have things to do. I've been recording a lot lately for just like other projects, and then doing a little bit more writing, which is always fun, and just like keeping tabs on the winter short stuff. And of course, I don't know if we've announced it publicly, so I won't say the name of the con, but KRWBY prep for some convention stuff that we've been confirmed to do next year is very exciting. I'm going to be hosting a panel and helping with some other panels. That'll be pretty exciting. So yeah, just keep your eyes and ears and everything out. I'm sure for the New Year episode next year when we record that, well, that's so crazy to say, we will go all into all of that information. So yeah, just stay tuned on the channel. But yeah, what else have you guys been up to before we get to our KRWBY News Corner that I remembered?
Not really a whole lot else. I finally watched The Mandalorian. Yeah, I finally get it. I really like how gritty it is. Like,
agreed.
I love that it doesn't, because like Star Wars has always, like the live action stuff has always had that kind of really unironic kids movie feel to me. Like that they're really trying to play it to the kids. And I really like that The Mandalorian doesn't feel like that to me. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, we're making this for kids. Like, it feels like a mercenary, you know, out doing his job, you know?
Yeah.
It's essentially a space western.
Yeah. Which I adore. So
it's the lone wolf story.
I mean, heck, the first episode literally starts in a saloon.
Yep.
Yes.
With a shootout.
So
or
good.
with a brawl.
I have some theories about what Disney's doing with this show.
Do tell.
So, I saw this hilarious meme about how millennials are not like wanting to have like kids and stuff, which like I guess that's fair. I don't, but I can't speak for all millennials. But what if Disney made Baby Yoda so cute so millennials will have babies, and then next year they're gonna sell Baby Yoda baby clothes for all the millennials that were banging during The Mandalorian? That's my theory.
That's quite the crack theory, Katy.
Disney theory. Listen, everything's about money. They know what they're doing. Disney knows what they're doing. When you get that big, you can control the population, okay? They know what they're doing.
Disney
that Baby Yoda is too cute. That is exactly what I am saying, Beau, right on this podcast. Disney is trying to make all these millennials fuck. That's I rest my case.
Well, I mean, wouldn't the better time to do that be during the spring then?
But winter is when you're all cuddled up because it's cold and you're lonely because it's the holidays. So
As long as it's not in February, because the world doesn't need any more Scorpios.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if they did it right now, what's like 9 to 10 months from now? That would be like...
I have no idea.
I'm...
I don't think that Disney
December.
wants you to fuck. I'm just
Okay, so
putting it
yeah,
out there.
they'd all be coming out in around like September or August.
Yeah. Man, Beau, why'd you have to like crush my theory like that, man? With your solid
I thought
evidence
you were
and
gonna
your
come at me
clear
with like
case.
this like really intense theory about the show, and then it's just this conspiracy theory.
I mean, I do also have theories about the show. I think that Baby Yoda is really cute. That's my theory. Thank you.
That is a solid theory.
I thought you were gonna go with like, you know, Disney knows that that millennials aren't having kids, so they introduced Baby Yoda as a way of kind of like encouraging people to adopt or something like that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's
because
That's
Baby
a little
Yoda's
bit more
so
wholesome.
heckin' cute. Like, I think that they're trying to get into those millennial maternal instincts, and the fact that our lone wolf boy, he's got to take care of this baby, but like he keeps trying to get rid of it, but he has a responsibility, he feels, and he's just like, I have to do what's right. And so we get to begrudgingly watch this tsundere metal boy take care of this baby. And I'm here for it.
You know, the one thing I'm actually really happy about, they could have easily made Baby Yoda annoying. Like that, like they could have easily but the thing is, like, Baby Yoda doesn't really talk all that much or something. Like, maybe parents are going to use that as an example. Like, why can't you be more like Baby Yoda? He just sits there and doesn't talk.
Ooh, fun fact about the voice acting of Baby Yoda. So I saw this thread. I'm pretty sure it's true because I trust the resource. The baby sounds that you hear for Baby Yoda are like stock baby sounds that were recorded years and years and years ago that are apparently used as the default baby sounds in most like big films that work with the same company, which most of them work with that company. And so, like, for example, like the sound of a door opening in the Mandalorian, or a lot of movies too, is also just a stock door opening sound that was filmed like around the same time. So like this baby that recorded these sounds for Baby Yoda and potentially a bunch of other babies is probably still alive. They're probably old, and I don't know how copyright for like making stock voiceover worked back in the day versus nowadays. So like, who knows if they're gonna get credit or if they sold it and they don't even remember doing it because they're a baby, because their parents are probably dead. But yeah, that's just an interesting fact.
That is interesting.
It's kind of like the Wilhelm scream.
Yes, exactly. And so I thought that was pretty
Actually,
interesting.
have we heard any Wilhelm screams in Mandalorian yet?
Not in Mandalorian. I think that scream is more so comedic nowadays instead of, I mean, well, not that it was never comedic, but like I think they would save that for a moment. They wouldn't just.
Oh, have you actually ever seen it where like I've actually seen a couple movies where it's a serious moment and they put that Wilhelm scream in and it's like you completely ruined the tension.
How could they do that?
Yeah, Wilhelm scream is absolute comedy.
Yeah, an
good.
excellent example I could think of. I don't know if any of you are fans of the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Well, in the extended edition of the Desolation of Smaug, Gandalf is on this journey and he finds this one dwarf. I think he was like the king of the dwarves or something. Like he was the head dwarf's dad, and he had been imprisoned. So like they're trying to get away and stuff, and then Sauron stops them. It's this really dramatic moment that the dad's like, "Tell my son I loved him" and stuff. And he's like, "You could tell him yourself. It's too late." Then the thing grabs him, and then you just hear "ah," and it's like, wow, whose idea was that?
I'm all for
Who is the
unironically
sound
using
designer?
Wilhelm screams.
Oh my God, yes. Like, who was in there editing that and was like, this is perfect. This is
This is what we need.
This is the way.
This is the perfect way to cap off this drama.
Oh my
It's just
God.
so amazing how when you know more about like the backside of production, it makes such cute little moments feel that much bigger.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, I think everybody's doing pretty good is what I'm hearing, and we've been doing some really cool stuff. So, Beau, why don't we go to our KRWBY News Corner Weiss Breakers?
Oh my God. Stop trying to take my job. I have one thing that I'm supposed to do, and I always wait until 5 minutes before to write it. But it's okay. Listen.
Such dedication. Yes, take us to our KRWBY News Corner, Beau. The floor is yours.
What is up, everybody? Beau here. I'm gonna do this shit. KRWBY News Corner. We in this bitch. All right.
Yep.
So, first and foremost, as we've mentioned before, Nondescript Winter Holiday 2 is officially in post-production, technically.
Woo!
That's all I'm gonna say about that. I have feelings about that short.
All right.
We've got some more comic dubs in the works. I think we've got some stuff that's going to be coming out hopefully after the new year. I think is when the release date is set for those. But you'll be able to see them if you're on our Patreon. You'll probably see them a little bit earlier, so make sure to check that out. We've also got a couple more VR funny moments in the works. I know that some of the editors are working on it. Tina told me last night that she not Tina. Brian told me last night that he got to see some of it and that it's really funny. So I'm excited for you guys to see that.
Yes.
Moving right along, we friendly reminder that we have the RWBY Talk podcast that's live streamed every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern to cover the latest RWBY episode that is out for first members, not the free episode. The first members episode, like whatever the most recent episode is, that's the one we cover. Last night was an exception because we took a break for Thanksgiving, and so we had to cover episodes 5 and 6 last night, and boy, was that a very long 2 hours and 44 minutes. But yes, every Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, we cover the newest RWBY episode, so be there or be circle. This episode, as Katy mentioned, is the last episode of Perpetually Ajar for the year. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break until after the new year, and I believe, if I'm looking at the schedule right, our next episode should be out on the 7th. I
think so.
Is the first Tuesday of the year. So yeah, we're really excited. Katy, do you want to kind of like hint at some of the stuff we have planned for Perpetually Ajar real fast?
Yeah. So for the future Perpetually Ajar, we've been having a lot of discussions about kind of the future of where we want to take this podcast. And so for the new year, we are going to be doing a few more format changes. We're just going to be adding a new section, kind of doing a few Weiss Breakers. You know, we're still going to have a fan question, but we might be adding a new section that I won't leak the title of yet. And then we might have some episodes with just me and Beau to kind of have like some fun with that. And then other episodes, of course, with special guests. And we will go more into detail about that in the new year. But yeah, look forward to some changes. And of course, we love to hear your input. If there's anything you want to see, anything you want to hear, please comment below. Also, if you have fan questions, please submit them. We very much like to hear from you guys. We love doing our Weiss Breakers, but getting to answer questions from you guys and hearing your stories or how KRWBY connected like with you personally really means a lot. And I know we've answered like a lot of different types of fan questions too. So we're always willing and up to anything. Like whether you want to ask us like about, man, what do I do? I just got out of a breakup. Or man, what do? I want to buy this cute sweater for my dog, but what if my cat gets jealous? Like, man, we'll answer anything. We love you guys and we love to talk. I love to talk. I'm projecting again.
You might ought to be careful with that. That feels like you could open the floodgates. Like, man, what do? I just killed a person. How do I get rid of the body?
You know, man, we have the information you need. As the actual team leader of Team RWBY, I just want to say that if you have a body to bury, just bury it in money. It's that easy. Thank you.
My God,
and you're welcome. So I just solved all your problems. And woo, Perpetually Ajar! Season 2! Season 2! Season 2! Unless we call it something else. Woo! It's still Perpetually Ajar, though. But yeah, that is what's happening there. So, Beau, back to you.
Yeah, so anyways, leading off of talking about burying bodies, don't forget to check out our Patreon for exclusive behind-the-scenes content like bloopers and clips from like filming and recording, as well as early access to most of our major content like KRWBY Abridged, the comic dubs, VR funny moments, and of course, the VR shorts.
Also, there's a lot of Weiss stuff coming up on Patreon. I'm just letting you know. You wanted to go do it. It's real funny.
Yeah, Katy's Weiss stuff is always
I'm always blooping.
Always blooping. It's so much fun to listen to Katy record, and it's so much fun to hear the result of all of these different recording sessions because she's a nut.
You know,
Anyways.
now that I'm thinking about it, you think the Shnees have had to bury anyone before? Like, I don't.
Oh, definitely. I mean, my dad is literally a drug lord.
Anyways,
I forgot about
make
that.
sure to follow us on Twitter if you don't already. That's at KRWBY Abridged or at RWBYABRG for updates on what's going on in the world of KRWBY Productions. I know several of us have access to that Twitter, so we post from all different places and all different times. And yeah, so make sure that you follow us there if you don't already. And as always, hop into our Discord server to hang out. We have the link posted on all of our videos, on our YouTube channel, all of that jazz. We hang out in the voice channels and we chat with everyone there all the time. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, if you're not already in the server, please join us. Let us know that you came from a Perpetually Ajar episode. We would love to hear that. We'd love to know that you came from that. And
yes,
with all of that being said, back to you, Katy.
Thank you, Beau. So I'm so happy that we have so much cool stuff going on behind the scenes, and we cannot wait to show it to all of you. But in the meantime, I think it's time for some Weiss Breakers. So to our new special guest, to let you know how this works, we're going to be asking a series of 3 questions that you will see kind of put in front of you there in our little Discord chat that we have up. And for example, when we ask the first one, we're just going to kind of give our answers, just kind of like go into it, see what we're feeling. And typically what happens is the first one, Beau is always on the opposite side of what we think. And then the second one, there's another person that is like the disagreeer. And then the third one is like someone different. My goal is I want all of us to answer Weiss Breakers and all be on the same page for each one. But somebody is always going to be different, and that's kind of really fun.
Me.
Yeah, so it's just kind of about feeling it out, just answering and just having fun with it, because it's a fun way to learn about people. So let's get into our first Weiss Breaker. Would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the most intelligent?
Oh, that's a good one.
This is a trick one because usually the smartest people are the funniest.
You know, I would want to be the funniest because I feel like most of the really, really intelligent people that I know, like when I think of like being the most intelligent in the room, don't really have a sense of humor.
Oh, interesting.
And so I would rather be able to be funny and be like be around funny people than be the most intelligent and potentially be seen as like a snob potentially.
Ooh, yeah, good points.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with that one. Yeah,
Yeah, like I'm trying to think about what the benefits for each side would be. Because, like, whenever I think of funny, the comedy, like, obviously there's dumb comedy too. But, like, not that the people that like it are dumb, but just, like, you know, kind of the easy comedy. But the kind of comedy that I really like is, like, the more sophisticated comedy, I say through my fucking turtleneck sweater. But, like, people that are really smart, comedy is usually kind of a coping mechanism. It's kind of a way to kind of, like, communicate with others. And it always stems from a dark place and usually from a type of truth. And so people that are usually the funniest are usually really analyzing situations and kind of expressing them to the world in a way that is perceived funny, because all funny has like a bit of truth to it. So I'm trying to think about But then again, there is also the spectrum of people that are like super smart and they can lose that comedic side. So yeah, you're probably more likely to lose funny if you got intelligence versus losing intelligence by gaining funny. So yeah, in a long, convoluted way, I'm going to agree that I want to be the funniest too.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
All of us
Whoa.
in
Well, alrighty.
agreement for the first one.
Whoa. That's crazy. This has never happened. Has it in the history of Perpetually Ajar on the first one we all agree?
Nope.
Or wait,
that hasn't happened
maybe.
yet.
I know that there have been Weiss Breakers where we all agree, but
Not for the first
They're-
one.
yeah, not for the first one. Like, let's see if we can keep this streak up. I'm kind of feeling it. But yeah, actually, real quick before we move on to our next one, what are your guys' thoughts on like being intelligent versus being funny? Do you think that someone that's really smart can't be funny, or that people that are funny are not smart, or like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, no, smart people can definitely be funny. I mean, Seth MacFarlane comes across as a pretty smart guy and stuff, and
yeah.
he's a pretty funny dude. I mean, at least he was. I haven't really watched Modern Family Guy, so I don't know about that. But
Yeah.
You know, I would say, like, to a degree, like, I think there's a difference between just generally being like a funny person and being like a comedian. I think that comedians have to be really intelligent. They have to like understand the kind of people that they're you know, kind of they're performing for, and they have to be able to read a room. And I think that takes a certain level of intelligence.
true.
To be able to do.
Yeah.
But when I think of funny, I think more just like the kind of personality that just kind of exudes just kind of positivity and humor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that doesn't necessarily require intelligence or vast intelligence. It's kind of, it comes from the heart, not from the head.
Yeah, for sure. And like there's also kind of distinguishing like emotional intelligence versus knowledge intelligence, wisdom. Like I think funny people can also just be very empathetic, because in order to make someone laugh, it's kind of about being vulnerable and kind of expressing potentially your insecurities, or finding someone else's, but finding a way to phrase it in a way that can make you laugh. Because if you can laugh at yourself, you can laugh at anything. And it's kind of about being humble and like that humility that like true humor, true comedy comes from. It's about punching up, not punching down. And intelligence, like if you're the most intelligent person in the room, our stereotype is usually like the nerd that like knows everything about books. But I think it's very important to also say that like emotional intelligence is just as valid as that other type of intelligence, because it's so important to be able to understand people and to understand conversation and empathy and how to work on a team with others. And that's kind of the side of intelligence that gets kind of forgotten sometimes. Yeah.
I agree.
No, that's true. I mean, it actually makes me think of how many like smart people there are like in Hollywood that are out of touch and stuff, because like there have been some pretty questionable decisions where it's like, meh, surely this decision will be liked by the masses. Yes.
Yeah, like just that total lack of empathy, because when you get to certain positions of power, you just kind of forget what it's like to communicate with people like they're people instead of numbers.
But the chart
Yeah.
says.
But yes. But okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that first Weiss Breaker. I feel like we took it to a beautiful, deep, and personal place as well, which is always fun. We're in agreement on that first one. Let's see if we can keep it in round 2. Weiss Breaker number 2. Would you rather reverse one decision you make every day, or be able to stop time for 10 seconds every day?
Ooh.
Reverse a decision.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I'd have to say the stopping time one sounds like it could be pretty nifty.
Yeah, because, like, but they could also kind of be in the same realm. Because, for example, your safety. If you are like in a car crash or something, or you're about to be, you could reverse your decision to go forward right there. Or you could stop time for a few seconds to get out of the car, but it would be more beneficial to reverse the decision that got you there.
Yeah.
So,
Here's my thing on that is I agree. Like, say you go out and you get into a car accident and it's like you could reverse the decision and just never get into the car. And it's like, okay, cool. Completely avoided that. If you're in the car accident and you have the ability to stop time for 10 seconds, you're really just kind of delaying the inevitable. Like,
yeah.
10 seconds is not a long time. So, like, what if you're already mid-crash and, like, your leg is pinned or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
if you could stop time for, like, 5 minutes a day, you can do a lot in 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's a good point.
That would be more interesting. Yeah, but 10 seconds doesn't really give me enough to work with. But I'm trying to think of the downside and the positives to both. And I'm like, the power to reverse a decision every day, is that too much power?
I'm not sure about that because I think the decision I'd probably use that on most is, you know what? I think I'll sleep for 10 more minutes, which turns into...
I'm going to reverse my decision to wake up.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Reverse decision,
Ooh.
okay, I'll wake up right now instead of sleeping for 10 minutes, which turns into an hour and then 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh. Yeah, because I think it's also good that you could only do it once a day. So it's not like you have this unlimited amount of, like, decisions that you can make or, like, fuck up. Like, you're not just, like, putting innocent people in harm with your power trip.
You could, you could also, like, use it for thrill seeking too. Like, you could go try something that you've never done before and then just be like, not a fan, reverse that decision.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I think that would also be really good for, like, being safe. Like if you're walking alone at night and you decide, oh, I'm going to take this alley because it's quicker. And then, like, a mugger comes up. You could be like, okay, not taking that one. Also calling the police.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll go with the reverse decision one then. I think I'll reverse my decision.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Are we uniform again?
Oh, my gosh. Is our 10th episode? Are we actually doing this? This is not planned, you guys. Like,
this is completely
I'm going with
unscripted.
The reverse. Holy shit. Wow. We did it, guys. The first 2 questions we are in unison on. Man, that 10-second stop in time for 10 seconds one sucks. Like, what could you even use that for? Like,
maybe a few illegal things, but that's all that's coming to mind.
Yeah, like, if someone was about to punch you, you could stop time and kick them in the balls, maybe.
True.
Like,
or if you see a PS4 Pro at Walmart or something, just like...
10 seconds,
can you grab it in 10 seconds? Like, can you get it out the door in 10 seconds?
Well, I mean, if it's near the front doors, I guess. Like, I don't know.
It makes me think of that show. What was it? Oh, God. Do you remember the show? It's a game show where they put them in, like, a market and they give them a cart and it's like, okay, you have 30 seconds to fill your cart with as much stuff as possible.
Oh.
Yes!
I can't remember what it's called.
I know what you're talking about. Man, for that, I would just go to, like, the candy aisle and I would just pour every bit of candy. Because that candy can add up. Like, if you're trying to run to get to one big item, but you can dump in, like, 10 seconds an entire shelf of candy into your cart, like...
But, Katie, why go to the candy aisle when they literally have, like, stacks of, like, iPhone 10s, like, that you can just dump into your cart, too? Like,
never mind. Okay, I gotta think of, like, the placement, because usually the candy's at the front of the store, so you save time getting there. Versus electronics are at the back of the store.
Yeah,
true,
but I mean, it's also like
your transportation time to the back of the store.
Like, if you only get like 5 in your cart, like that's still already like several $1,000s.
This is fair.
Honestly, it makes me think. I remember on Twitter seeing that one story like. Person breaks into Apple's store and steals like $100,000 worth of items. And I just remember seeing comments like, so they stole a single iPhone.
Yes! That's too real. It's too fucking real. Well, we did it, guys. Let's go to our final Weiss Breaker before we get to our fan questions. And let's see. This one's going to be tricky. Let's see if we can all get on the same page. Would you rather get away with lying every time or always know that someone is lying? And I already know my answer
Ooh.
in my head. I want to hear yours.
It was called Supermarket Sweep, by the way.
Oh, that's
Oh.
awesome. I'm going to need to
I had
watch
to
that
Google
sometime.
it.
That sounds like the kind of just dumb television that I need in my life.
It is. It's really entertaining. I would want to know if someone is lying. I have a really guilty conscience, and even just like fibbing slightly, I feel so dishonest. It makes me so sick. Even if I knew that I could get away with it, I still just, my conscience would not feel good about that. So I would rather know if someone's lying to me.
At the same time, though, like, I'm not sure if you'd want to know if someone's always lying to you. I don't know. Because it just makes me think, like, isn't ignorance bliss sometimes? Like, I don't know. Would you want to know as a... Do children watch this, by the way, real quick?
No. We're allowed
this
to
podcast
curse.
is not for children.
Okay, well, I was going to say, like, say you're like a little kid. Would you want to know right away your parents are lying to you about Santa Claus?
Well, we're not giving this power to children.
Okay.
This is for
We're
us.
giving this power to us. Yes.
And I would rather know that
yeah.
I would rather know that the people I'm talking to are being dishonest or not.
I think it's interesting the perspectives you guys are going at it from, because my perspective on it is if I know someone is lying, I don't have a way to catch them. I just know in my head that they're lying, but I don't have any proof, so I can't reasonably tell them that I know that they're lying. So I would rather be able to get away with lying and just kind of live the way that I'm living right now, like without knowing, people's thoughts and if they're lying and stuff. Because sometimes a lie isn't as complicated as we think it is in terms of, like, if someone is quote unquote lying to you, maybe they're lying about, like, oh, I had 2 cookies today instead of 3. But then if in the same sentence they say something else that's really important, you might misconstrue what they're lying about, and then you get all anxious because you're like, oh my gosh, my lie sense went off. I know that they're lying about something in that sentence. And then it's just my anxiety would just go out of the roof if I'm just overanalyzing everything a person says to me.
So are we saying that it's just you can sense that they've told a lie, but not like oh, they said something, oh, that's the lie? Like,
yeah, I'm interpreting it as you always know that someone is lying. You don't know what they're lying about, maybe, unless, if they say one sentence to you with only one fact in it, obviously that's the lie. But, like, I don't think it's OP as if you can distinguish by the word. I think that it's, when they are lying to you. You can't read their mind. You can't read verbatim their thoughts, but you know that a lie is being told. Versus, like, getting away with a lie every time would give me less anxiety. Not that I would use it necessarily, or I wish that it was phrased more like you'd get one lie every day, because I don't want the power to be able to do all of it. But for the sake of my sanity, I don't want to be in people's heads, so I'll just take the responsibility.
Okay, and yeah, I'm thinking of ways that could backfire. Like, say you ask someone, like, hey, do I look good in this outfit?
Yeah.
Does this dress make me look fat?
But then it's also subjective to them, because the dress might not make you look fat, but to them it might, but their opinion doesn't necessarily define you.
But then again,
But
their opinion
their
does
truth
mean
is their
something if
truth.
you're asking them that question.
It's true. You want to know their, like, truth. It would just be too much for me if I had to worry in that sense. I'd rather just be able to trust people, and if they lie to me and it gets out of hand, then I know those people aren't meant for me. But I don't want that control over others.
I would rather know if someone's being dishonest to me.
No, that is fair though. They're both they're both tricky. They're both giving you an unbalanced power, which is, like, scary.
Yeah,
the
and
responsibility of it.
I have like really, really big trust issues. Like, it's really hard for me to actually trust people, just from experience of just being lied to, being manipulated. So, like, I definitely would never want, if I have the power to not be in that situation by any means ever again, I would take that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. And with the whole being able to lie, like, just because you have that ability doesn't necessarily mean you're going to use it often, like, if ever.
Yeah. Because I guess one thing that stresses me out about the always knowing someone is lying is the only thing worse than knowing someone is lying to you is not being able to prove them and call them out on it without proper, like, context or evidence. And so them being able to get away with it and there's nothing you can do but watch And that's why my stake in some people at times is very like, I am here to trust you because I don't want to live my life being untrusting. Like, obviously, there are certain situations where I am cautious. But, like, for example, like, when you have a significant other, when you have, like, made plans with somebody, you have to trust, like, that the less power or control you try to have over someone, the more your relationship will flourish. If you let them do their own thing and they just add to your life, it makes it so much better because that's just the natural way things should be for me. And so, like, if I feel like I'm having to constantly see if they're lying to me, I'm just like, my mind is like going crazy right now, trying to explain it. But yeah, I just don't know if I would want that responsibility just for my anxiety. Actually,
another quick question. Now, are you able to tell when anyone's lying? Like, say I'm watching TV, like two like politicians are talking out, and am I going to be able to tell, like, okay, that's a lie. Okay, they're lying. Okay, now that's a lie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you would be able to, like, yeah. My interpretation of this question is, like, you know when anyone is lying. You might not necessarily know what they're lying about because that can be, like, a very subjective thing, too. Because, like, sometimes people think they're telling the truth, too, which is, like, crazy.
That is...
Like,
I would say...
Like,
I would
thought
say
crime is a real, like, yeah.
It would make more sense to me is, you know, the wording is really weird, so my interpretation of it is you're able to tell when someone is intentionally withholding the truth.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Like that there's malicious intent behind it. Like they're deliberately telling you something false in order to hide something.
Yes.
You know what? I think
that was my interpretation of it.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Beau on this one. The more I'm hearing about it and stuff, the more it would be nice to be able to tell in certain circumstances who's lying and who's
Yeah.
That was
like,
at least my
interpretation
is useful.
of it.
Plus, I myself have just never been a good liar at all. I've got, you know, you remember Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio?
Yeah.
I've got a fat old Jiminy Cricket that's breaking my back every damn day.
No, exactly. And, like, I feel the same way. It's just, they're both difficult choices because they both give you this level of responsibility and power, and it's very nerve-wracking to be in those positions. But I think the one that would give me the less anxiety is the one that gives me the least control over others, I guess, even though they both give you, to a certain extent, control over others.
Yeah, because
I can lie.
Getting away with lying every time is like manipulation. Like,
yes, exactly.
You can manipulate people however you want, and they won't question it.
That is
You'd be able to make a decent life as a politician or a lawyer.
Oh my God. That's so terrifying.
It is.
Like, man, it almost feels like, because I don't want the power to where I'm just fully, like, unable to trust and not trust anymore. Because sometimes some people need to, like, tell a lie too. Like, because sometimes it's better for them. Like, for example, there was a time in my life where I was seeing someone, like, me and this guy were, like, talking and, like, doing stuff, and it was really cool. And it was a perfectly fine and normal relationship, but I didn't want anyone to know about it. We wanted to kind of keep it secret because we had just started talking. We didn't want other people in our business. And so when people would ask us questions about, like, oh, who are you seeing, or this or that, and, like, trying to pry into my business, I'd be like, no, I'm not seeing anybody, or no, like, this is not your business. And in that moment, if they had that power to tell, like, I'm lying and they pressured me about that, that would be pretty fucked up. Like, sometimes it's not your business. Sometimes people withhold the truth because
that's why I say knowing when someone is intentionally maliciously lying, because I think, you know, there are people who are like, oh, even little white lies are wrong, blah, blah, blah. I think that everyone is entitled to a certain level of deceit just for the sake of privacy. And so, like, because I don't think that your whole life should just be required to be on blast for everyone.
Of course.
And so I honestly do think that there are harmless lies just for the sake of your own safety or your own sanity. And that's why I interpreted it as, like, when someone is deliberately lying or with the intention of, like, hurting or manipulating. Because think about it like this, is, you know, getting away with lying every time in that sense is how easy it would be to just fib constantly. Like, you might not even necessarily consciously be doing it, and you could say something that's not true, and they believe you. They don't question it. And I think you would
That's too much power.
I think that would be just too much power.
Yeah. So I think for the reasoning's sake of, because either way, I wouldn't want either of these powers. But if my reasoning for wanting a power is I want the least amount of power to control others, then I think I would also have to go. I think I'd have to switch my answer to always knowing that someone is lying because, humans, when we're given power, it's so easy to fall into that trap of misusing it. And even without my intentions being bad, I could, in rough situations, just accidentally tell a lie. And then I'm stuck with that and the consequences of that. And I could just keep doing it and doing it. And misusing the truth is more harmful, or doing wrong by the truth of reality is more harmful than knowing when someone else is trying to deceive you and potentially losing some of that trust
I just fist bumped because I've gotten so good at convincing people to switch sides, and we went uniform on all three.
We fucking did that.
Hey.
And this is not rehearsed. I'm not switching just for the sake of doing that either. I genuinely was okay with me being the odd one out, but I really think the reasoning is sound as to the second one being less controlling of others, and that is my desire.
Yes,
there you go.
This is in fact not rehearsed, and Beau is not holding us both at gunpoint.
It's Beau.
Beau.
It's Beau.
Beau.
It's Beau like a bow tie.
Oh.
It's all good. It's all good. Katy,
you're
stop.
perfectly fine, but that's amazing. I love that. I'm sorry. But yes, everybody, round of applause. We just agreed on all three questions. This has never happened. Every episode I've teased that I want us to be able to do it. And for our 10th episode, final episode of the year, we have done it, and this is amazing. Hold on. Usually during the episodes, we come up with the title of the episode, like mid-episode, and I feel like unanimous Weiss Breaker or something like that could be a good title.
That's a spoiler, though.
Oh, damn it, you're right. We can't have spoilers in the title.
I was thinking we should call it Baby Yoda, but that's just me.
I mean, that's not bad.
Because we definitely talked about Baby Yoda for like 20 minutes.
Baby Yoda is pretty hot right now.
Conspiracy theories? Baby Yoda conspiracy theories?
Oh my god. Yes.
That's a working title. We can come back to that. We still have 2 fan questions to answer, so we might come up with something funnier in the meantime. But congratulations, everybody. That was the best round of Weiss Breakers we've ever had. We all agreed.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and just to get out of the way, that is not the first time I've mispronounced the name. Probably won't be the last.
It's all good.
It is perfectly fine, but I am calling you Beau from now on.
I'll just block you. It's fine.
No! All right. Fan questions. This first fan question comes from Sugar Rush, who is a hardcore fan of the podcast, and we very much love and appreciate you, Sugar Rush.
Mm-hmm.
If you could be the best at any one random activity, what would it be? For example, the best at balancing a spoon on your nose.
A random activity.
There's so much activities. So much room for activities.
The best at any one random activity.
Yeah, so it needs to be something that isn't not something you want to use for a career, but something that's trivial and is just interesting and neat.
Oh, okay. That is an excellent question.
I would want to be the best at
balancing something on a finger sounds like it could be fun.
Okay.
Like balancing any object on just a finger. I don't know. That just sounds like it could be entertaining.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that's actually one of the circusing skills that I have is that I balance. I used to balance.
Clown college.
You know, like those ladders that open up. Like I used to balance a ladder like that on my chin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like that was that our first episode where we talked about clown college?
Yeah, I believe it was our first or second.
Yeah, I wanted to go to clown college for the longest time, and one of the circusing skills that I picked up was balancing stuff like on my foot, or balancing stuff like on my pinky or on my index finger, or like balancing something on my chin, like a cue stick on my chin, or like a ladder on my chin. I have my crescent rose scythe that I balance like on my chin, and it is like 15 feet in the air. I think random activity.
I'm just trying to think.
I would want to be the best at. I keep going. My knee-jerk response, and then I hesitated, and then I've just been kind of lingering on it. Is I want to be the best at recommending places to eat when I'm out with friends.
Ooh,
that's
that
nice.
is a good one, actually.
That's random. My mind keeps going, my capitalist mind keeps going to, okay, what's something I can make money at?
But you said
But
that
I'm
you're not
trying
allowed
to-
to turn it into
Yes.
a career.
Exactly. So I'm having to stray away from that because I keep wanting to be like, ooh, drawing or painting and stuff because I don't really have any skills in that department. But then my mind goes to, okay, I can sell commissions for this much. No, shit, Katie, stop thinking about money. The artist struggle. So I'm trying to think of something that I can't monetize. But then again, if you're good at something, you can always make a video of it on the internet. So it has to be something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could probably be with mine. I could probably be a really good Yelp reviewer.
Yeah, it's true. So technically anything, if you're a good marketer, can be profitable, but try to think of it in the mindset of you're not going to do that.
Yeah, mine. I still like the being really good at recommending places to eat when you're out with friends.
Yeah.
Just giving good directions in general could be a nice one to have.
Ooh, is that just a little is that a little skill? It has to be a random activity, not like a life skill.
Yeah, that's why I picked a very specific circumstance of recommending places to eat when I'm out with friends. It's not like I could just sit here and be like, the best Mexican restaurant in the area is blah blah blah. I have to be
I know
out
what
with
I want mine
friends,
to be.
and we're actively looking
Oh
for
my gosh.
places.
I know what I want mine to be.
What is it?
I want to be the best at shuffling cards in weird ways, doing all the weird shuffle things.
I like it.
Or I want to be the best at folding paper into origami shapes.
That works. Those are both very random.
Ooh, yes. But if I could do all those cool card tricks and I could just walk into a bar hey guys, doing the cool card tricks, that'd be cool.
Sleight of hand.
Oh, but I'd love to fold origami cranes. That's something that would be really fun. Yeah, okay. I've decided I want to be able to fold paper into any shape.
All right. Well, there you go.
And what was yours?
Oh, okay. I was thinking that balancing one, but now that I think of it, it'd be pretty nice to have the ability to just say you've got figurines or something and you want to be able to position them in a really cool way or something. Just
Ooh.
You know what I
So
mean?
being able to pose them realistically.
Yeah, or just a really cool action thing or something. Just set up any way you want, really.
That is definitely very
Okay.
random.
That's random and specific.
All right,
Yep.
then.
I like it. Well, heck yes. Then let's go to our next fan question. Would y'all write a fan fiction? And if you have, what is it about or what would it be about?
So I
Oh.
wrote this thing called Nondescript
Y'all
on
don't wanna
Holiday
know.
2.
Y'all don't want to know about my past with fan fiction.
You don't want to know about my past with fan fiction, Katie.
There's so much Naruto fan fiction
But
in my
did you
past.
write them?
Yes.
Oh my god.
We now go to Perpetually Ajar After Dark.
Yeah, I'm not going into specifics, but there was a lot of Daedara X Me fan fiction and
Oh my god, Katie.
If you'd like her to go into specifics, feel free to go to their Patreon.
press 5 if you'd like to know about Katie's smutty past.
Oh man, there's just gonna be comments in this video that's just 5.
Just nothing.
If on it, oh my god.
Just nothing but 5s, and at that point, it's just well, crap. I guess we really have to put this on Patreon.
But honestly, if I could find it, I would share it. But It was called Quizilla.com. That's where I wrote all of my fan fiction. I had at
remember
least
Quizilla.
30. Yes, I loved Quizilla, but one day they just shut down, and lo and behold, they took all my fan fiction with them. So I have none of it, and it makes me sad because it was really funny. Like, when I look back, it was so bad and funny, and I wish I had it because I would do live readings of it if I had it. Oh my God, I want it. Like, it makes me sad. I tried every which way to get into Quizilla after it shut down, but that's the thing about Quizilla shutting down. You can't.
You know what's real sad is I just
it.
pulled up my phone and I found the very first fanfic I ever wrote.
Aww.
It was the ship name was Gelfie. It's Glinda and Elphaba from Wicked.
Oh my God, yes.
I wrote it back in hold on, let me look at the date published. 2009. I wrote it back in 2009, so 10 years ago. And the premise was that it's kind of based off of a crossover between the book and the show. That Glinda and Elphaba met at school, fell in love, and then the whole thing of her having to run away and go into hiding because she's the Wicked Witch now happened. And then so basically all of Wicked happens, and then she fakes her death instead of actually getting melted. And then 2 years after the ending of Wicked, she comes back because she misses Glinda, and Glinda realizes that, Elfie's been hiding this whole time and is kind of offended that she was never told oh, you're still alive. I thought you were dead for 2 years. And it's kind of a bittersweet reunion. And that was the fic that I wrote. I've definitely gotten a lot better at writing since then. That was wee babu 16-year-old Beau.
Well, Koy, are you going to tell us about your fan fiction, or if you could write one, what it would be about?
Oh boy, here we go.
Yes.
All right. I guess role playing is considered writing fan fiction.
Very much so.
I love role playing.
Let it out, Koy. Let it out.
In that case, I write fan fiction just about every day with someone or another.
Whoa!
Man, that's a mood.
What's it about?
Oh boy, I role play quite a bit. Sometimes it's to find out what a majority of the role play is, get to Patreon for the not suitable for work content. No.
Oh my
Press
God.
2.
Let's see. Actually, one of the most recent, actually, it's not even recent, it's just a favorite of mine, actually, wrote with this friend of mine called Pichello. It's a RWBY fanfic where the idea is about a character from before, real quick, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen volume 6. I believe that's where they talked about the gods and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The idea was about a night, because, before the gods left and stuff, it was the times of fairy tales and stuff, like knights and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically the fanfic itself is about a knight who has to fight this Dark Lord that's controlling Grimm and stuff, but they're not able to stop him. So in order to do so, this knight uses this spell that seals the Dark Lord away, but it also seals himself. So the pair are essentially frozen in time up until modern day, and RWBY comes across him and ends up freeing him. So now you've got this knight from times way back when, now in modern day setting of RWBY.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
I love RPing in fandoms that are AUs.
Yeah.
We have this really cool, me and a friend have this really cool, I think it's really cool, League of Legends AU. We call it the Soulmates AU. And it's half of the characters, and we go back and forth between different pairings and ships and whatnot. And so half of the characters are gods, and then half of the characters are mortals. And they're destined to be soulmates. The different pairings are destined to be soulmates. So the main one that we started with was Vi was an immortal, and her soulmate was Caitlyn. And the thing is that because as an immortal, they're never supposed to interfere with mortal affairs. And if they do, they're banished from the realm of the gods to essentially wander the earth and watch their loved one live, die, reincarnate, live, die, repeat.
Yeah.
And so Vi accidentally plays a hand without even intentionally doing so in Caitlyn's death. And so because of that, she's banished. And the way that it works is all of the gods, once they meet their soulmate, there is this dagger that is formed from their connection, from like the strength of their like connection for being soulmates. And the dagger can only be used on each other. So if the god were to use it on the mortal one, then it would end their reincarnation cycle and they would never reincarnate again. And if the mortal were to use it on the god would die and enter into a mortal reincarnation state, but they would never be able to find each other again.
Oof, why would they?
Wow.
Why would either one of them want to use that dagger then?
Yeah.
Well, we had a couple of the characters that like we had one character that like went insane and killed her mortal lover and like now she's all by herself, and so she's insane because she doesn't have that other half. And it was just like, I'm really proud of like the world building we've done in that AU, and I kind of really wish that we could like write a story about it, because it's just I'm really proud of like how much developing we've done for that AU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, you just kind of reminded me of this one of the big deeper parts in the that role play with the knight and stuff, because we actually at one point we actually explored the point that because the gods when the gods of light and dark left RWBY Remnant, like they erased everything of the past world behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now we have to have this knight who has to deal with that, like, because like there's this one scene where he takes the team RWBY, because they're kind of watching him and stuff, like kind of taking care of him until he can, figure out stuff for himself. There's this part where he takes him to this hillside where he would visit his mother's grave, but because everything from his world was erased, that's gone now, and he kind of has to deal with that.
Ooh.
He kind of has to deal with literally everything he fought for, like, against this Dark Lord. Like, everything he tried to protect is essentially gone.
Mm.
I love writing stuff, guys. Like writing and brainstorming. If I could choose anything right now to write, I would write some good ass snowbird fic. That's what I would write.
Yeah.
Because
If
Crow and Winter.
if I could make a comic, like a fully like, okay, I'm going to go into a little something here. On the other podcast that I host, the Weird Flex But Okay podcast with Jordan Jax Blade Down and myself, we talk about doujins and fanfic a lot. And one ship that is my trash crack ship that I understand it's not canon, it shouldn't be canon, but I love it, is in Naruto, Rock Lee and Sakura. It's garbage. It's a garbage ship, but I love it and I will die with it. And I want there to be really good doujins of them. And I can't find any. I can't even find any doujins. It's rare. I found like one and it was really shitty. And I'm just like, I want it. And that's what I would.
Well, for any of you
That's
artists
how-
out there who do commissions,
Yeah,
That's how
I don't
I
know if I
feel.
could afford what I want though.
That's how I feel about, so like, talking about ships that we know are horrible ships. They should
Horrible.
never happen. They
Shouldn't happen.
They really probably won't ever happen.
Nope.
For RWBY, I really ship Cinder and Emerald. And there is a surprising lack of really good Emerald fanfics out there. And it really kind of makes me sad, because you'd think that something like that there would be like a huge fan base for, I feel like, considering all of the like the Cinder RWBY shippers and like
Yeah.
how crazy this fandom can get with shipping and how many other random ships there are. You'd think that something that's almost canonically stated as like at least
So wait.
at least Emerald cares about Cinder. Like,
So what is your crack ship again?
Cinder X Emerald.
what? And you call that
okay.
Ember Old?
Yeah, Emerald.
Okay. What do you call the RWBY Cinder ship anyway?
Cinder RWBY.
Oh,
Or Falling Petals.
Cinder Ruby.
okay.
Oh, Falling Petals.
I think the
Okay.
weirdest ship
But no,
I've
yeah,
heard in
yeah.
RWBY, the weirdest ship I've heard. Okay, the weirdest ship I've seen is Titanic.
I don't know.
What is that one?
It's a weird ship.
What is it?
It's a ship.
Oh my god. I hate you so much.
I hate you.
Shout out to my girl Barbara Dunkelman for that joke.
How dare you?
God damn it.
Shout out to Barbara for that one. That was from her at a panel.
How dare you?
You come into my house on the evening of our last episode of the year.
And you make that I can't with you.
I'm so disappointed right now.
I am aggressively ending this podcast. No, not really. I'm actually having a really fun time.
Oh my god. I'm just like, I literally face palmed so hard just now.
Shout out to Barbara Dunkelman.
I'm
Yang is
not
best
recovered.
girl.
Yang is a great girl, but Weiss is best girl.
Yeah, Weiss is best girl. You're outnumbered by two schnees here, dude.
You're outnumbered by the schneesters.
Weiss definitely has that ponytail going for her. That is a fabulous ponytail.
It's a great ponytail. But what are some other, like, before we end the episode, what are some other, like, crack ships? Are there any other ships that you guys are like, I understand this isn't okay probably, but I like it?
I really like Elderburn, Winter and Yang.
Okay.
I've actually seen fan art of that one.
Yeah, there's some really cute fan art. I know Dashing Ice Cream has done some Elderburn art.
Interesting.
Let's see.
I don't know if it's controversial or like crack shit, but I do also, and I've been really open about it, I really love the idea of Blake and Ilya getting together.
Oh, yeah.
Prismatic Ponytails is really cute too. Ilya x Weiss.
Man, the ship that I liked for a while, or, you know, I only had so long to like it because they never did anything with his character, Mercury and Weiss. Like, I was so mad that they'd never really developed Mercury. He was such a cutie baby boy, and I wanted him
Mercury?
in more stuff. No, Neptune.
Oh,
You said Mercury.
Oh, my bad. I always confuse their names.
both
Yeah,
planets.
Neptune
So.
and Weiss would be cute.
Yeah, he's got that blue hair, and, like, he's all cute, and, like, his little red jacket. And he's such a cute design, too. And they just threw him away. They didn't do anything with him.
And then they kind of
And I'm mad.
Then they kind of went a weird direction with him and Chibi and kind of made him more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you guys have seen Ruby Chibi, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Neptune kind of comes across a bit more gay in the Chibi show.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a
I
little bit
think-
more like
yeah.
flamboyant in Ruby Chibi and kind of really
Yeah.
like almost like effeminate. Like,
Which is kind of weird because
Yeah.
he's kind of a slut in the actual show. Like, any girl he sees is like, yo.
I still
I know. I wish they did more with him. I'm so mad.
you know, not throwing shade. Like this is not throwing shade at all. But like I still feel like it was a missed opportunity that to have, you know, when they had the whole thing in volume 2 where it was like, well, why didn't you take Weiss to the dance? Like she wanted to go with you. And he says I can't dance, bro. You know, like that part.
Oh,
Like
I think I see where you're going.
it was a really
Yeah.
missed opportunity for him to be like, I'm not into girls. Like girls aren't what I'm looking for.
Right?
And like honestly,
Yeah.
the show would have been completely exactly the same. But that's
Yeah.
just me. I because I ship sea monkeys. I ship Neptune and not Mercury. Sun.
And Sun.
Actually,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for that too. And we lead to that in kind of Ruby Bridged a
I'm
little bit.
actually,
Yeah.
I actually kind of lean towards Sun and Blake, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked those two together and stuff. I never.
Yeah, they were definitely cute. I felt more of a sibling vibe though.
Yeah, we actually went into discussion about Black Sun and Bumblebee quite a bit on the podcast last night, which is funny because we ended up talking about like the whole like Adam confrontation from volume 6 for like an hour, even though that's like
Oh,
last
yeah.
season. Is
Yeah.
that I was talking about how I never even knew that people shipped Blake and Sun romantically until like volume 4 because
Yeah.
like I just genuinely was like of the mindset of like, oh man, it's so nice to finally see a male and female character be best
Yeah.
friends and not be
Yeah.
involved.
True.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I like about Ruby too is that when it came to like shippy stuff, like especially for our main girls, there was never really a plot point that was just like, I'm heartbroken over a boy or like all this stuff. As much as I like, silly shit like that sometimes, like I am a sucker occasionally for a Hallmark movie. I like that they just kept our girls like eyes on the prize, and love is just kind of like a thing that might exist. Like, obviously I have my ships, but like it's not like centrally focused on, oh, woe is me, I'm crushing on this person. Like it's kind of just like in the background, instead of being the forefront.
I never wanted romance to be like the main focus for Ruby, but I feel like our girls they've grown up a bit, and like they crushes are a thing. Having feelings for people are a thing. We actually talked about how we were talking about how like Blake we could see as probably being bi, but Yang we actually came to this really interesting conclusion that I hadn't really thought of before last night, is that what if Blake is, for all intents and purposes, what if Blake is Yang's gay awakening? Is she didn't realize that she could like women until she met Blake. And so that's kind of why Yang's being really awkward, because I know when I, realized I was gay, the girl that made me realize I was gay, like my knee-jerk response was like, man, why do I just want to be this girl's best friend? Like, and it's so innocent. It's such an innocent line of thought of like, I just really want to be close to this person without realizing that it's those feelings that you have for them.
I like that. And I think Ruby is asexual, and I think Weiss is straight as the fields are KRWBY. I don't have as good of an analogy.
Actually, I don't know if either of you have ever read the RWBY manga.
I have.
Ruby has actually shown interest in wanting a boyfriend in the manga, funny enough.
I think I heard about that, and I don't think I liked it. Maybe that's me rejecting canon. I thought I'd heard about it.
But yeah, she was looking for a boyfriend, and that's actually where we learned who was that one guy? He was a redhead. I can't remember which team he was on.
Scarlet?
Yeah, because, like, isn't that also where we find out that he's gay?
You're talking about the anthologies. The anthologies aren't considered canon.
Oh, okay.
The Shonen Jump Viz Media ones are canon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I will say that even if that was like a canon thing of like, oh, I should get a boyfriend, not to like dig my roots too deep into my beliefs,
this theory,
but I also know that like sometimes people that are struggling with their sexuality, like heteronormative thoughts are kind of like the standard for a lot of young people that are raised in that culture, which is, like it's kind of like pushed on you, like this is the way things are, like man and woman. So like a lot of young girls will kind of be like, oh, well, I should get a boyfriend, like that, and they don't get to truly
see that happened with
express.
Me. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I had a boyfriend. I really liked him. I really cared about him
because that's what you expected. Like that was what was expected of you. It was supposed to be that way, when in reality that wasn't for you.
And then I met his hot sister, and realized that was more my cup of tea.
Well, actually,
because
the thing is, I don't really see Ruby being in that kind of situation with her dad. I don't think her dad would be like kind of put that on her. If anything, that kind of sounds more like a situation Weiss would be in. If anything, like.
Oh, definitely. But I do actually think Weiss is straight, but I'm definitely willing to be proven wrong.
Right.
But I do think that she is. And not that, and parents don't necessarily have to like force it down your throat in order for you to understand that like culturally it's kind of pushed on you in general. Like sometimes when things are pushed upon you, it's not that your parents wake you up one night and say, go like boys or I'm gonna hurt you. Like that's not how it works most of the time. I mean, sometimes maybe there might be actually very aggressive cultures like that, but that's not usually how it works. Heteronormativity is just kind of just thrust upon you at a young age by just passive culture things.
It really comes down to like media, like, and how it's presented in what we view as far as books and movies and TV shows. And the fact of the matter is that still the vast majority of modern media, and yes, it's gotten better nowadays, but the vast majority of media still like straight until proven otherwise.
Right.
Like
it is good to see LGBT representation in media, though. Like Steven Universe is an excellent example. I don't know if
absolutely
that's like my favorite
Steven Universe or He-Man. I mean, come on, we all know.
And She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Oh, of course. Like yeah, it's definitely something that is just kind of there. And so I guess my main point is that even if there was like a comic or something where Ruby says, oh, I should get a boyfriend, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's straight. That could just mean, oh, I have to conform to, like, I have to do this thing because I'm, based on my understanding of, like, life, that's what is expected. That is what is normal. So I should do that. Even if she doesn't have necessarily the desire to do that, sometimes young women feel that pressure.
I mean,
like, oh, I have to like boys. I have to get with a boy.
Plus, it could also be like, you know, maybe she just wants to try it just to see if that's for her or not. Maybe, like, you know, she could be bi or pan or, you know, or what was it you said, asexual?
Because, like, I know a lot of asexual people that have been like, yeah, like, I, you know, growing up, I thought, like, oh, I'll just get a boyfriend and do this. And then, like, they just weren't happy when that person wanted to do, like, sexy time stuff. They were just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be touched, but I want a boyfriend. And then they were able to figure out, like, oh, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm this. And then, like, sometimes having those labels can kind of help people figure out what's actually going on. Yeah.
You actually just reminded me, actually. I was actually recently at the Salt Lake FanX Comic-Con a couple months back.
Yeah.
What was I can't remember the question that led up to it, but I think it was Blake's voice actress that suggested she liked the idea of Blake being in a polyamorous relationship with Sun and Yang.
Oh my God.
And it is like, well, I mean, clearly Blake's got a type, the happy blondes.
Yeah, I think that one's called Sunny Bees is the ship.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, she likes buff blondes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, just
I
then,
like
Yang
Bees.
and Sun would just be.
That's just me,
yeah.
though.
So there you
That's
go, people. For
amazing.
those of you who like to ship Blake with Yang or Sun, you can have both.
¿Por qué no los
Why
dos?
not both?
Blake's obviously got a type. She tried the redhead, that didn't quite work out,
she's got a
so
type.
went for blondes.
That is incredible.
This hurts my.
But yeah,
this hurts my.
yeah.
I have to say, because I just found this out the other day. I've been calling Blake X Ilya Catmillion because I thought it was cute. Apparently, it's called Reading Rainbow,
Oh my God.
and I feel like my eyes have been opened to the world because that's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I love the ship names, but I will say it here loud and proud, I am a Bumblebee hardcore
Oh,
shipper.
that actually reminds me of this other panel with the people in Top of Ruby. One of them was asking, like, what's the
Yeah.
most disappointing ship you've ever thought of? And I can't remember who it was, but the name he thought of was the Birds and the Bees. And I'm curious if either of you can figure out what that ship was.
Is that Crow and Yang?
Like, that, or was it, like, Blake, Yang, and Raven? I'm sure. Dang it.
Oh God, no.
This is horrible.
No.
I hate it.
No.
And yet the name itself sounds
No.
good. Birds and the Bees, like that itself.
No.
My
What about
favorite,
the birds
my
and the
favorite ship
Schnees?
is Snowbird, not Robin X Winter. I'm gonna go ahead and throw shade right now. You Robin X Winter
Damn.
shippers out there, Snowbird is taken. Pick a different ship name.
Damn.
They're trying to
The fucking shame.
rebrand it. Like, and I even saw a post about it that was like, oh, you know, stop trying to erase a valid lesbian ship with your heteronormative ship. And I'm like, listen, Snowbird's been around since Volume 3, fam. Like, pick a different name.
I was
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
I was here first.
I'm all like, I love the
Turned to a
idea,
bird,
but I haven't seen them interact. I'm a useless lesbian. I love shipping lesbian ships. Just pick a different name.
Not against it.
It's
Yeah,
simple.
yeah.
It's
Maybe
easy.
Okay, right here on the podcast to end it. Let's see if we can come up with a good name for it.
A good name for Robin X Winter.
White Wings.
White Wings. I want to say that there was another one. Oh, I think it was Puffin was the other ship name that they were using for it.
Okay.
Which is, you know, like an Icebird kind of thing. Like even
Yeah.
Icebird would be better. Like
Icebird. Okay. Snowbird, Icebird. You know,
Yeah, just
we got some ideas.
I just
there.
don't want the confusion to be happening because when I go into my Snowbird tag looking for my fix, I want to see no
Yes.
Robin X Winter shit in there.
Exactly.
Icebird
I'm looking for my good, wholesome, one straight ship that I have in all of my fandoms.
Icebird, Snowbird. Oh, great. Now Winter clearly has a type.
Oh my god. She likes birds. She's a
I'm a bird.
I'm a bird.
No.
All right, guys. I think we
Yeah,
did
the
it.
only
I
real
think
big
this is-
headcanon I
yeah,
ever had.
This is done.
The only big headcanon I've ever had, and this is thanks to Ruby Chibi, is that Ruby's a closet perv. Like, I'm curious
Oh my gosh.
because, like, you all saw that one episode where Ruby got into Blake's books.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, they did kind of imply that, and it's kind of it's interesting. I think that she's just learning, and she's growing up, and she's going through that phase.
Yeah.
But you know, thankfully, we haven't had any weird stuff like that happen in canon. So
Yet.
yeah, that is a very big yet. But anyways, closing out the episode again. This is the
Yeah.
last episode of the
Wow.
year. So
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, for sure. And before we go, where can they find you? What else do you do besides KRWBY?
Well, I do have my own channel and stuff. I do other voices and gameplays and reacts on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the channel itself is just called Koy McCloud. You can also
Okay.
follow me on Twitter at Koy McCloud.
Nice.
And
do you have anything you want to plug, like any projects or cool things you've done recently?
I do have this one project coming, but it hasn't come. Like, we haven't been able to release anything yet. We're still waiting on animation. It's me and some friends of mine are working on we're planning on starting up a Star Wars parody channel.
ooh.
Yeah, but we're still waiting on that. Like, because my friends hired an animator and stuff, and we're just still waiting on that before we can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't.
Okay. Well, heck yeah.
Well,
Just
that's
follow
awesome.
him on Twitter so you can see updates for that.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Where can they find you, Beau?
Well, as always, you can find me on the Twitter at Beau from KRWBY. That's BEAU FROM KRWBY. I had to think about it for a second.
Oh, I should specify
Oh,
on
yeah?
my Twitter. It's Koy_McCloud.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
We will definitely link it in the description as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, you got me on Twitter. You've got me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/CB Cosplay. I do a lot of my gaming live streams on there, as well as some like live reactions and just kind of hangout streams. So definitely check that out. You can find me here on Discord. I think my nitro ran out, so I think my name changed. It's oh god, streamer mode is enabled. It is my CB Cosplay number 5947. Feel free to add me if you guys want. I'm trying to be a little bit more open to adding people. I know that I've been really kind of stingy with it, but I wanna be able to chat with you guys more often. And yeah, and if you do send me a friend request on Discord, just let me know if you want to be added to my Discord server, because I post all of my reactions and my own personal content in my Discord server. And that's the Crimson Raiders. You can find that link either through DMs from me or on my Twitch as well. And what about you, Katy?
Nice.
Where can they find you?
Well, heck, you can find me at KaniDay Official, KaniDay Official, on Twitter, and on Facebook you can find me at KaniDay Cosplay. On Instagram you can also find me at KaniDay Official. You can also find me working over at Dr. Crafty on YouTube, Dr. DrCrafty, where I'm a voice actress and writer. And you can find me on another podcast called The Weird Flex But Okay Podcast, hosted by myself and Jordan Jacksblade Downs. You can find us at Weird Flex Pod on Twitter and Weird Flex But Okay Podcast on YouTube, and our Patreon, Weird Flex But Okay Podcast Patreon, or Weird Flex But Okay Patreon. Anyway, you can find us all there. And you can find me here at KRWBY Productions on Perpetually Ajar, also as a voice actress and a writer. And you can find us all in 2020, the new year.
We're excited. I'm really excited for what we've got planned. So it's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be fun. Are we officially, because you said earlier season two? Are we doing 10 episode seasons? Is that what it is?
This is an idea. This is a thought. Maybe we'll discuss that more, because it's potentially either just seasons or just like the new year is starting a new season. I do like the idea though. Let us know in the comments below how you think about that. And yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Our special guest, will you please say the final words of the last episode of this podcast for the year?
All right. Oh boy. Wait, am I supposed to say something specific or?
She just always does this. She just throws the guest under the bus.
Oh.
That was perfect. Oh my gosh, you're so talented. Say more words. Say more words. Tell them.
I'm a
Happy New Year.
bird.
Yes, you heard it here first. He's a bird. Goodbye,
I'm a
everyone.
bird.
Bye. See you next year.
Bye.